currency printing deal. In studio, I'm joined by very key guests. That is Honorable Joseph Makilap, who is the Baringo North Member of Parliament as well, a member of the Finance and National Planning Committee of the National Assembly, and as well Honorable Robert Basil, who is the Yatta Member of Parliament. He is in the Wiper Party, which now considers itself, the official opposition party after what they believe is the ODM joining the government after 4 former top officials joined Ruto's cabinet. And just to give you the numbers, as you can see on your screens, the 14.2 billion tender has been awarded to a Germany-based money printer, that is the G&D, and the tendering process is shrouded in top secrecy in what was considered as classified. According to the CBK Governor, Kamau Thuge, the Security Council and the Cabinet approved the request, and what will be printed with the 14.2 billion is actually 2.04 billion pieces of notes. Eyebrows are being raised on the reasons behind the closure of De La Rue in the beginning of 2023, but we'll be getting to that. And now to the nitty-gritties. 50 shillings notes that will be printed are 460 million pieces. 100 shillings notes that will be printed are 690 million pieces. 200 shillings notes that will be printed are 260 million pieces. 500 shillings notes that will be printed are 170 million pieces, while 1,000 shillings notes to be printed are 460 million pieces. The worth of new notes that are going to be printed within 5 years are 689 billion Kenya shillings. And now the cost of printing 1,000 pieces of 1,000 Kenya shillings is 6,890 Kenya shillings, which is an increase by 11% compared to the year 2019. So this is the cost of printing new Kenyan currency. The CBK Governor, Kamau Thuge, appeared before the Finance and National Planning Committee of the National Assembly, and this is just a brief of what transpired before that committee, where he revealed who is actually which is the company that was awarded the tender. Listen in.
I determined that there was going to be a stock-up, which was mid-2023. And we knew what the implications of that stock-out can be. We also knew that De La Rue, on its own, had decided to shut down its plant. Procurement was concluded in accordance with the PPADA and with the approval of the National Security Council and the Cabinet. The cost of the banknotes was euros 103,299,000, which is equivalent to $109 million, 422,740.
Quantity or the value of a banknote in circulation is well over 330 billion notes. So measured against 689 billion worth of value for the next 5 years, I think that's, I don't think we are talking of a massive injection. It's not an injection. They'll be consumed as they are withdrawn.
What really informed the really justification why you could not keep your shareholding there, why you could not have the company here, why everything was, that company had to close. And I remember, Chairman, most of the regional states here were coming to De La Rue to print their money. Meaning, therefore, that was an avenue for foreign exchange earning. So we have lost our jobs, we have closed the avenue for other countries.
Why the government of Kenya bought shares at De La Rue was to make the printing of those notes cheaper. okay? So that because they are shareholder. So that question about value for money and how these contracts compare is not coming out clear. I think now you may have to have your technical person give us a quantum of how many notes are being produced at this and what is the market price.
I wanted to note the 40% stake that the government of Kenya was holding at De La Rue. What is happening about that after the exit?
Be able to say, I'm taking that this is the amount of the number of notes that are already worn out, and therefore it informs your costing. Because honestly, suppose you want to bring this is 14 billion tender, and you want to bring notes worth 500 million.
The central bank is to ensure that there's price stability, exchange rate stability, financial market stability in terms of the banking sector, but also to ensure that there's enough money in the economy for the economy to grow and for
That was what transpired before the Finance and National Planning Committee of the National Assembly, and Honorable Makilap is a member. He'll be shedding more light into that. But just to begin this conversation, we rope in Honorable Dr. Babu Wino, is the member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee of the National Assembly. Good morning, Dr. Babu. The budget process began, just ended the other day, be it for the supplementary or even for the financial year 2024-2025. First of all, did you budget for the 14.2 billion Kenya shillings, or are we printing this money on a loan? At the same time, the tendering process has been shrouded in top secrecy in what they consider as classified. Do you buy into this?
Thank you very much, Comrade Chacha. Good morning to my colleagues. I have great friends who are there with you as the panelists. And good morning to our only lady, the economist. I want to first of all take this opportunity to say that I'm a worried man in this country. This country makes us fear living in it anymore. Why? Because our priorities are not right. At a time when we're experiencing serious challenges, serious crisis, where everything is going on, what we can think about is on how to print more money. And the reason why we are printing more money is to replace the old notes and giving an excuse that the reason why we are printing money is so that we can replace the security features of the existing money, where there is no threat of forgery that has been reported anywhere. Because the moment we print this money, we will replace, we will not inject into the system. Because injecting into the system leads to inflation. So therefore, we are using over 14 billion to print money. Now, in economics, there's something called sewerage. This is the profit made after you deduct the cost of production. Now, is the juice worth the squeeze? The answer is no. Why? Because this money that we are making as a profit, we are not injecting it into the system. We are going to simply replace, and the old notes will now therefore be banned. You ban them, they will be banned. So the moment you ban this money, honestly speaking, what are we trying to do? Then, as I continue, Chacha, you find that this 14.2 billion Kenya shillings, this is money that is going to be stolen. This is how it is going to be stolen. This is another scandal. Because printing this money will definitely make us pay this 14.2 billion. As of now, we don't have enough reserves, enough dollar reserves in the central bank. Therefore, this money is going to be stolen this way. For us to pay for it in a foreign currency, in a foreign country, we will have to pay in a foreign currency. Then we will have to take a loan because we don't have enough dollars in our reserve. The moment we take this loan, Chacha, this loan will take care of that money, of that expense of production, cost of production. Then the 14.2 billion will be sent outside this country into a foreign country, and this is pure corruption. because that money will be paid using a loan, because we've not even budgeted for it in the first place. So therefore, Church, our priorities are not right. 14.2 billion can be used to pay doctors who are striking, can be used to pay nurses, can be used to pay JSS teachers, can be used to build factories for young men and women to get jobs. This money can be used as capitation in our schools. We are increasing the high cost, we are increasing the cost of education in the university. Over 100,000 students are not going to join university because they can't afford. Why are we doing this? Why is President Ruto punishing Kenyans?
Dr. Babu, are you raising eyebrows by the fact that De La Rue, which printed the 2019 currency, just exited at the beginning of financial year, or at the beginning of 2023? Shortly after, then we realized our notes are old and there is need to award, a company, a Germany-based company, that is G&D, that also competed for the 2019 tender and did not manage it. So we closed De La Rue, which we had 40% as a nation. The National Treasury had 40% shares, and now award these monies, 14.2 billion, to the Germany-based company, and we will not get 40%, in terms of the profits that the cost of this printing would cost the taxpayers. Are you reading malice?
Chacha, this is pure theft, this is pilferage of money, this is defrauding, this is complete misappropriation of funds. Chacha, this money is going to be stolen because for us to pay a foreign company, we must use foreign currency. That foreign currency must be taken in form of a loan, and that loan will pay for it, which will earn interest. This 14.2 billion is going to be converted here and sent outside in terms of that is how they're going to steal it, because Treasury will not record a double entry, because that money will be paid using loans, the cost of production. Then this 14 billion is going to be stolen. It's going to leave this country, and it is going to be stolen. So definitely look at what happened in De La Rue. They brought out some scandals, decided that we have to, De La Rue now should not even do its job. And Chacha, why do we import everything in this country? Over 80% of everything we are using is imported, including eggs, including chicken, toothpick, and including our own money. Why do we import our own money? What is happening in this nation? President Ruto is a God-fearing man. And sometimes I really wonder what's happening with our president. Can we, all Kenyans, pray for this president? Because there's a big problem.
Thank you, Dr. Babu Wino. He's a member of the Budget and Appropriations Committee of the National Assembly. He says they did not even budget for this money. Honorable, he has said that it was not in the budget, and so it will be a loan. Honorable Makilap, as a member of the Finance Committee, the fact that we are now printing new currencies, does it mean that the currencies that we printed in 2019 only have a shelf life of 5 years?
Thank you, Chacha. I think when we asked the Central Bank Governor to appear before our committee, we actually wanted to shed light on this secret printing of currency or secret procurement process of printing of Kenyan currency. Because in 2019, it was not that confidential, it was, competitive. And De La Rue won a tender. So when the CBK governor came before our committee, number one, he said this process of printing new currency is to replace those which are worn out, those which are torn. And the tender, the 14.2 billion tender is for a period of 5 years. Now, part of the things that we asked the governor to shed light on is how did you arrive at J&D? Those are German company. Because even if you were to do it as a secret or that confidential restricted tender, then even the process of identifying that, let us leave this one, let us get this one, until you now settle to J&D must be seen. So when we, at the end of the process of yesterday's, appearing before the committee, we went further and asked the governor, it is not enough. Go and give us, because he said himself, there is nothing secret about it. He can lay it bare on the table. Then we told him, okay, fine, can you give us the procurement notes on the entire process from the beginning to the end, which is yet to, we are doing a letter for him to appear before us. And before we jump into stealing or not stealing, let us first of all understand the process, whether the whole thing is, we are not losing money as a country.
So in other words, you're saying you're waiting for the documents for you to conclude that.
Yes, we are here to get some.
I'm coming back to you.
You were there yesterday.
Robert Basil.
Yes.
I was in that committee, and it shocked even the members of the finance committee that this decision was arrived at in what they term as a classified procurement manner. For the sole security reasons, I wonder what happened in the 2019, if at all there were cases of other people printing the currencies. But the fact that De La Rue, which is the largest money printer in the world, exited the nation shortly after the G&D company that also tried to get the tender back in 2019 is awarded these in a classified manner, meaning there was no competitive process.
Absolutely.
Are you suspicious that this could be one of the biggest scandal that this country is going to face?
That is an outright scandal, basically. And I would tell you, the amount of kickbacks that must have transacted in the selection process of this particular company is actually unimaginable. And what the CBK governor should have honestly told the committee is there was a negotiated deal. This is purely cutting deals and kickbacks. And this is what has been ailing our country for many years. It is unfortunate, up to date, we are still having the same challenges, similar scandals evolving from government to government. Because what logic is there to spend 14.2 billion just to finance inflation? What is the logic there? 14.2 billion would have financed or would have supported the construction of more than 3 mega dams. I'll talk of Yatta Dam, which is supposed to serve 4 constituencies. Yatta constituency, Gatanga constituency, Thika constituency, and by extension, Kitui constituency, Kitui East constituency. And up to date, the money to finance these dams is not there, is not available. You have heard what Dr. Babu has mentioned about Kenya being a net importer of everything. Why would we continue importing when we can utilize this money to finance production? Remember, if we have sufficient food supply, you have mitigated cost of importation, you have mitigated loss of our currency in the process of importing and making a very healthy balance of trade. But unfortunately, simply because we have people who are not patriots, people think, how much am I making in this deal? That is the problem we have.
You oversight the National Treasury, CBK included. Were you involved, or should you be involved in decision-making of such crucial matters? Even though it's, maybe considered as classified, you could have done it in camera.
Thank you, Judge. I think let's put the record straight. Let us not cast aspersions on the governor of Central Bank on things that we may not have evidence. Until we have evidence, when honorable member says kickbacks were given, those are imaginations, perception for now. 2, we don't print currency to become an additional money in the economy. The currency are printed to replace those which have been worn out or torn out. That has to be very clear. We don't just bring excess money so that it will cause inflation and cause problems.
And that is what I ask. So does it mean our shelf life for our notes are only 5 years?
Now, in fact,
so it's 14.2 billion for the next 5 years again.
One of the questions that we ask the governor is the quality of these notes. If the company is going to print notes that is going to be worn out immediately after 4 or 5 years, then it's not worth we are also very candid on that because we want nodes that can longer. And part of what we on that when the decision was De La Rue, I think part of it is what we do our because we are losing out as a country. The people that used to live in De La Rue, we lose in terms of income. We lose on terms of as a country with what is wrong, encouraging investors like G&D to set up their factory of printing money in Kenya. Just like De La Rue. De La Rue is a UK company, but they had to set a plant here in Ruaraka. This one is out, so it means 14.2 billion. We are shifting them out.
Telling you, it is bringing suspicion, because any patriot would actually question.
Yes.
Or
Personally, I agree with you.
Front similar questions.
I agree with
because
you.
Why would you deny your country an opportunity to generate employment for your people?
I agree with
At
you.
the same time, also deny your country the chance to be able to utilize local resources.
And Honorable Basil, he has
for the
stated
benefit of your
categorically
country.
Honorable Basil, he has stated that there was a challenge of $1 billion in terms of taxes. De La Rue used over 2.3 billion to fire its staff. If at all there was good faith and the government or the National Treasury being the stakeholder with 40% shares, could it then be fair enough to just pay $1 billion rather than using 2.3 billion and get another tender in few months that is now at 14.2 billion Kenya shillings, and the government to get 40%, in terms of
and that
profits?
is why I told you, it doesn't need a genius to tell you there must have been some deals being cut. In simple words, there must have been some kickbacks. Someone wanted to benefit at the expense of 43+ million Kenyans. And this is the kind of mindset of state officers or people who are supposed to be patriots we are seeing in our country. Because if you are a patriot and you love your country, you'll make the right decision for your people. Because as I've told you, it is ironical to spend 14.2 billion to finance hyperinflation. It is ironical to spend 14.2 billion to make your currency worthless. You want to take our country to Zimbabwe way? Look at what is going on in Uganda. Their currency is talking of 2,000 plus, and not a currency where you find instead of people transacting their currency, they opt for dollar. You dollarize your economy simply because your country or your currency is worthless. So anyone who is right in the right mind and someone who loves this country would not want to see a Kenya where our Kenya shillings will become worthless.
Honorable Makilap, so basically, in other words, for the 14.2 billion Kenya shillings that we're going to use to print the new currency, Kenya has no shares, no stake, 40% as it was with the De La Rue.
Of course, this is a new company. The Kenya government through the National Treasury does not have shares with G&D. It had shares with De La Rue.
And the part that's what Honorable Basil is saying,
let me make the point right. When you try to future, we as members of Parliament, the committee, there was kickbacks on this process, where procurement, the class, we are in that state. We have not reached the conclusion.
We have powers to start
in fact, the money is
an exercise in futility.
is already in the circulation.
This is infertility. Honorable
It is not an
McLaren.
facility. Once the entire process on this procurement, classified procurement process, it has to be audited. If it is audited and it is found to have then Parliament, if this report, because in the next 1 week or so, we are going to get that classified information, and we shall make percentages of case.
Also, just a share. $18.2 what it will cost you as Kenyans or as the taxpayers for this particular printing deal. A Germany-based company has been awarded that. Keep sending in your feedback, and of course I'll be sampling them before wrapping up New Dawn this morning. We'll take a short commercial break. We'll be back with this conversation. Stay tuned.